your host Deepika, welcoming you all in today's podcast, the IoT revolution in renewable energy sector. Let us have a privilege to welcome our guest, Kamal Rupareliya, in today's podcast, who is an esteemed industry expert who will share his insights on how IoT is transforming the renewable energy sector. Hi, Kamal. Thank you for being here.
Hey Devika, thank you for having me. It is
Yeah,
exciting time.
it's definitely a pleasure from our end as well. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm expecting a lot more from this session about how it works and what are the applications of it and how it will transform the sector. So let's dive directly in. And could you briefly explain about what is the renewable energy sector and how IoT will actually help to growth for it?
Certainly. So renewable energy is like using non-conventional sources like solar and wind and other sources. Those are not like giving any toil to the regular earth resources. And IoT plays a very crucial role in it because IoT system contains two most important parts. One is sensor and another is connectivity. So
Right.
with any energy source, when you add those parts, then you are making the process more efficient, more like cost effective, and IoT will play a very, very crucial role in the growth of renewable energy sources sector because the operational cost and overall efficiency of the operation increases with the help of IoT.
All right, all right. And if I just share about the current numbers that we have, the global IoT energy market share only is about to reach $35 billion in 2025 and expecting to grow at CAGR of 11% approximately. So, what, according to you, would be the market trend in the coming time and how it will change?
I mean, those numbers are just scratching the surface. Um, because people are the energy needs are ever increasing, and even with the electrification of electric vehicles and everything, the energy requirement will increase higher and higher. uh, and people know the risk of using conventional sources because those sources are finite. Sometimes they have to pay huge cost, and renewable energy comes without any baggage like certain like carbon emission and the pollution and everything. So um, I feel like in near future people will be more aware of the consequences of the conventional sources, and renewable sector is going to grow to the tremendous extent. And as I discussed earlier, without the help of IoT, I mean that sector will grow slowly. So in condition to accelerate, IoT will be the backbone of it.
That sounds interesting. Yeah, so coming directly onto the main part, like what could be the real world applications of IoT into the sector, how it will help, and how we can actually implement the things.
And I mean, those are just endless. First, like smart grid, smart meters, and in near future, we'll see a lot of microgrids. Without IoT, I mean, microgrids are kind of like inefficient and it's just a shell. So there is no intelligence to it. So that's a big thing. The residential solutions and all the commercial buildings that needs IoT in condition for renewable energy to happen,
Right.
and smart meters as well, that also requires help of IoT. There are a lot of sectors, even distributed systems, needs the IoT. Um, Anything that has to do with energy storage, energy production, energy transportation, energy consumption, all of this require IoT.
All right, all right. Yeah. So, like solar or hydro or wind or anything, wherever the renewable energy is concerned, it would be implicated, right? So, you mentioned little bit about like smart grids and smart meters. So, could you highlight little more on it so that our audience could understand it better?
So smart grids, those are the grids that can sense the usage in real time, and in certain cases they can act upon it, either regulating the usage like inflow and outflow, or trying to direct the resources from where the electricity comes or water comes or even gas comes. So that's how the smart meter works. And the role of IoT, as I've said, I mean, two things. It can make the whole system more productive, more efficient. It can sense the faults. It can operate those smart grid system um, remotely. It can prevent certain accidents to happen, like wildfires and everything, because the sensors can sense it earlier. It it doesn't require physical person to be there in a lot of cases. So the operational cost is lower, and that directly accelerates the adoption and movement that world is trying to move into. Another important point is smart grids are connected. They produce data, and in most cases they are live data. So with the help of data, if we are applying AI, combination of it can help make very much informed decision, and we don't have wastage of resources.
All right. That sounds actually fascinating to me as well. So, yeah, likewise, you mentioned the benefits, lower cost, efficiency, productivity, and all. I believe there are multiple abundance of benefits, and one of them would be monitoring and predictive maintenance. So, highlight little bit more about the benefits and how actually predictive maintenance and monitoring could work into renewable energy systems.
So renewable energy sources, in most cases, those are remote, and in certain cases they are like dealing with extreme conditions. And so if we have proper sensors, they can collect the data in real time. um, the connectivity allows us to control those units, control the flow and production. And if we combine like multiple systems together, then IoT and all this smart connectivity helps us reduce the wastage, reduce the operational cost, and make sure that we accelerate overall growth of this renewable energy sector.
All right. Yeah. So, having said about all the things, all the benefits and applications and everything, do you see there is any potential challenges into implementing it actually, or what could be the things?
That's a very good question. The biggest challenge is the cost. Right now, all of these renewable energy sources, those equipments, those are costly, and everyone has invested into conventional energy sources for the production of the energy, and even distribution, and regulating it. So to replace those infrastructure, if you consider the man hours and the material that requires to replace it, that's a too high. And especially like underdeveloped countries or developing countries don't want to take up that cost. Even private sectors, like bigger profitable companies, that they also don't want to take a plunge of those expenses. So that's a big challenge, but I'm very much optimistic that in near future, people will be more aware, because not adapting comes with a huge cost. Things like all of the disasters that we are seeing, like wildfires and other uh, the natural disasters that people cannot prevent. So if they will understand more, then they will realize that this cost is less. So I'm very much even though there is a challenge, I'm very much optimistic that it will it will overcome sooner than we are thinking.
Definitely, definitely. And like we are moving towards a sustainable future. So, what could be the future development that you are expecting out of this into this sector particularly?
So personally, I feel like people should adopt it fast. The world needs it. We are living here, so we need to make our world a better place. So I think IoT can really help accelerate the growth of sustainable energy, and by doing it, it can also help making world a better place to live.
Definitely, definitely. Any particular region or area where we see higher growth compared to others? Any idea about?
Yeah, I mean, Asia Pacific needs the most growth right now. They are becoming aware, so they are the the US and North America region, you know, they are adopting it, but they are little advanced already. But
Right.
their energy needs are also a lot, much more than other regions of the world. So I feel like Asia Pacific is the epicenter of growth of this renewable energy.
Okay, okay, all right, yeah. So looking forward to this growth and much more out of it. So anything to conclude this session about that the keynote that our users could have about IoT in renewable energy sector?
So, I mean, I'm very much optimistic about it. IoT is has been backbone of any industry, and renewable energy is the sector that requires is the most. So I feel like whoever is producing those equipments, they need to make sure that they have IoT and particularly the software part of IoT inbuilt into their systems, so that they can be more efficient, their operational cost will be lower, and that will help us accelerate the whole industry of the renewable energy. So I'm urging everyone to utilize or exploit the advantages of IoT sensors and data and analytics power for the better and sustainable future.
Right, right. So you are into this industry since long for the software, for the particularly IoT part. So is there any way the users can reach out to you, or how you could help the audiences to build this sustainable development and solutions?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are I'm part of the Intu's group, so we are making numerous solutions here about IoT. We are heavily working with IoT software. We are also investing a lot on electric vehicles and building that ecosystem, um, creating software for microgrids. So they can reach out from our website intues.com. I'm also on LinkedIn and Twitter, so they can find me. If they want to email me, it's a kr@intues.com. So I'm available there.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much for having here, and it's a pleasure talking to you and looking forward to many more sessions.
Thanks for having me, Deepika. It was
Yeah.
pleasure.